Hey guys, we got Axis&Allies 1942 second edition. This is what the board looks like basically after round 3. About to begin round 4. And just want to give you an overview, how things look here. And I'll give you a game recap on round 3, what happened. So Russia started off by taking Ukraine. As you can see, the Germans took it back. They also took Leningrad. The Germans tried to retake Leningrad from the Russians, but the Russians rolled great dice, and the Germans came in with limited resources, weren't able to take it back, so that was a setback for the Germans. So the Russians are looking healthy still, very strong, I think. We'll see what they do in this upcoming turn. As you can see, they do have 8 damage marks on their complex on Moscow, something they're going to have to deal with, but they're making $28, so which is not bad at all. The Siberian force is holding its ground for sure still. Russia is going to have to consider, though, pulling troops to the east of Moscow, because as you can see, Japan is starting to come from the east as they have overrun China, so it's something Russia's going to have to deal with. But overall, after 3 rounds, Russia still looks pretty strong. If I had to give you a prediction, in my opinion, I feel like they're winning the war against the Germans. But anything could still happen. So Russia's looking good. The Germans, they're starting to feel a little squeezed for sure. The Americans landed in Norway. Looks like the Scandinavian campaign could be wrapped up soon. We'll see if the Germans put any resources up north. That's going to be a tough decision for them. Africa, they have retreated into Libya. As you can see, they're pushed back. Africa looks like a lost hope or lost cause for the Germans. I don't see them building any sea units in Sea Zone 15 with the Allied fleet here. So it looks like that's going to be a setback for the Germans. The Air Force already got out of there and has retreated to the European continent. Germany built some more units and moved them into France, actually. England landed 1 unit in Belgium, Holland, but the Germans will take that out back this upcoming turn. So Germany, they have some problems. They're still making good money, but I think they're starting to feel the squeeze, like I said. I don't know what they're going to do with their main army in Belarusia. Problem is, if they go to Ukraine, Russia's going to counterattack them and send them back on the retreat, and that could be a disaster. So we'll see what happens. More reinforcements are coming, but it's going to be an interesting turn for Germany. UK is looking very good. They pushed into Algeria and possibly Libya maybe on the next round. We'll see if the Germans retreat or hold their ground. But they're looking okay. They still have most of all their territories here in Africa, so that's good for England. They have a good navy in the Atlantic with the U.S. They're moving troops, and as I mentioned, they landed on Holland, Belgium, and only 1 land unit, but kind of just like a pain in the ass. It's extra income. So they're just going to sit back and build, and who knows where the big invasion will go. Will it be France? Will it be Holland? We'll see. India, they're holding out still. We've got some good troops there. Australia, 3 men there. They still have their fleet off, now it's in Guadalcanal, but it's going to move up, obviously, wherever the main U.S. fleet goes for protection. So UK's doing good. They're making about about $35 a turn, which isn't bad for UK right now. Japan took a territory, Soviet Far East, with just 1 man. They have completed the Chinese campaign, and they're on the border of Russia, so we'll see what happens. They did build a factory in French Indochina. Now they have 2 operating factories in Asia. Obviously, the goal is India. We'll see how that plays out. And reinforcements coming up, hopefully into Novobrinsk or Kazakhstan or Ivenka National Oberg. Sorry about my pronunciation. I don't speak Russian. But anyways, Japan is sitting okay. They are going to have to deal with this U.S. Navy, which just landed on Wake Island. Japan's main navy is right down here off Malaya, so they are going to have to go up north and face the problem here just to protect their homeland. So Japan is making about, I want to say, $34, but they're going to have to help out Germany because Russia is still pretty strong. So if they could get into some Russian territories, that's definitely going to be helpful for the Germans. So that's Japan. The U.S., as I mentioned earlier, they're going all out Pacific. Very strong fleet. They just took Wake Island with 4 men. Next turn, they could threaten the Philippines. They could threaten Japan. That's most likely going to force the Japanese main fleet up north. So it could be a cat and mouse game for a while. They just built 4 destroyers coming off the line. They will be sailing from San Francisco Bay to join with the main fleet wherever that fleet goes. Could even go north to Iwo Jima, and that's really going to put a lot of pressure on Japan. So we'll see what happens. So the U.S. is looking good in the Pacific. In the European theater, they also built 4 men. They have 2 transports that went home. We'll see where those men go. They followed the British Army in Algeria and just kind of protecting them wherever they go. And they also took Norway this turn. That was very good because on the next turn, or this upcoming turn, the U.S. can build a factory there and start pumping out tanks or 2 men or whatever. So that's definitely a big plus for the Allies. We'll see how that pans out. So after round 3, if I had to give you my guess, I definitely think the Allies have the edge. Still a pretty close game. Looks like Germany's going to need some help though. They really need Japan to step up their game on the Asian continent, do something to take some pressure from Russia. So it's going to be interesting because Germany's now facing the Western Allies and they're starting to move into their territory, so they're going to have to divert their resources to different places. So we'll see what happens. I think the Allies do have an edge though, but anything could happen. Like I said, that's why we play these games. Maybe the Allies get diced in one huge battle and it turns the favors to the Axis. So we'll see. All right, we're going to begin round 4, and I will have a video for you hopefully sometime today or tonight. Deuces.